Our final speaker this evening is Sam Bushman. He serves as the National Operations Director for the CSPOA. Who is Sam Bushman? According to Sam, the words family man describe him to a T. Along with his strong Christian beliefs, his wife Julie and 8 children are his treasures. His hobbies include homeschooling his children, playing games, fun in the outdoors, reading, a love of music, and his favorite, talk radio. Sam has been a talk show host for 20 years, sharing his God-given gift of gab on a wide range of topics. He is a well-known public speaker on all topics relating to liberty. Sam is well known for the He Who Owns the Media Makes the Rules DVD and the New Media Takes Center Stage presentation. Sam also runs a consulting business, End-to-End Technologies, specializing in radio automation, digital audio production and editing, voiceover work, remote control access, networking, internet streaming, etc. Sam is available as an IT consultant for small business. Please help me give a warm CSPOA welcome to Sam Bushman.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate it. They have me as the closer tonight. Tomorrow, Chris Ann's the closer, so I consider myself in great company. And I thought of the oath that Pam was talking about, and you know, she's right. The oath is so critical, so important. One of the key cornerstones, really, of the Constitutional Sheriffs and Peace Officers Association. One's oath is vitally important, I agree. But you know what? I'm not a sheriff. I'm not high up. I'm not high on the totem pole. I'm just redneck, you know? So I was kind of thinking about the redneck oath of office. And it kind of like rolls up the 10 Commandments and the Bill of Rights and the oath all in one. Ready for it? Don't hurt me. Don't take my stuff. And I just thought, what if sheriffs were to just keep that? What if government could keep that oath? Don't hurt me. Don't take my stuff. So I'd like to challenge the Post. Aren't they here? Washington Post. I'd like to challenge you guys to do a couple of things for me. Number one, don't write articles that hurt me and let the government take my stuff, please. Because I'm against asset forfeiture. Because you know what? There's this thing called thou shalt not steal. Louder. Steal. That is correct. So don't hurt me. Don't take my stuff. See, it's about God, family, and country. It's about protecting life, liberty, and property, right? That's what it's about. This is very simple stuff. We don't have to be a rocket scientist. We don't have to be a doctor. Okay, while they claim we're criminals, while they claim that we're anti-government, they lie. We stand for the proper role of constitutional government. There is no other legitimate government. Amen. Can I say that again? We stand for the proper role of legitimate constitutional government, and there is no other legitimate government. Now, I went to my dad's grave. This is not a joke, ladies and gentlemen. This is dead serious. He's dead, okay? And so when we went to his grave, we were sitting there. We put flowers on his grave, and we were sitting on a bench, and we were looking around, and all of a sudden, one of my family members comes to me, and they said, hey, man, there's this interesting grave that you're going to love. Because they know that I'm patriotic, and I'm a political talk show host, and I was born on the 4th of July, and okay, this is all true. So they said, you're gonna love this thing. So we're gonna put up picture number 1, the broad view. It's a grave. Can you tell what it says yet? But I wanna show you it's a legitimate grave. This is not a joke, this is real. It is a grave, a headstone, right by my father's headstone. It's in Provo, Utah, where he's buried. Now let's zoom in on picture 2 there. And somebody read it to me loud. Cause of death, IRS. This is not a joke, it's a real gravestone. So let me just ask you, do you think somebody would put that on their grave if they weren't like overwhelmingly in grief of the abuse they've experienced at the hands of government, where all I'm redneck begging them to do is quit hurting me and taking my stuff? Think about that. There's a gravestone really by my dad's grave that says, cause of death, IRS. And there's the proof. If you don't believe me, you can go see it. It's there. So this is serious stuff, what we talk about. And we've been doing it for years. I'm going to tell you a couple of personal stories about the lies the media tells. All right? Richard and I went up to the Malheur Wildlife Refuge. But we didn't really go to the refuge, but the media told you we did. They lied. We went to a peaceful rally where we were trying to get people out of prison. And we were trying to get the Dwight Hammond and his son Stephen out of prison. They were actually out, but they were going back, right? Because they had been in prison and they were going back, and we were trying to prevent them from going back. So we went there and we had a peaceful march, a great day. It was almost 0 degrees outside, freezing cold. And we went and gave them hugs. We all took turns and we told them, we love you, we'll never forget you. We will do our very best to see you free. And it was a promise we made. We promised we wouldn't hurt them. We promised we wouldn't take their stuff, right? And so then, there was hundreds of us. And we sang Amazing Grace to that dear old couple standing on their porch. And I'm telling you, it was a sight to behold. Now, if you got the Southern Poverty Law Center, they would have just felt that hate seething through that Amazing Grace. It was crazy. I'm just kidding. It was the most peaceful, most humbling, one of the most humbling experiences I have ever had. We're out in the freezing cold 0, praying for this good family, this dear old lady wife that her husband doesn't go to prison. Because they called them terrorists, because they tried to light a backfire, common practice in the West to stop fires, right? To control fire. That's what it was about. And the government called them terrorists. Can you believe this stuff? Please don't hurt me. Please don't take my stuff. Stop. All right, well, anyway, after we sang Amazing Grace and we left, then some took over the Malheur Wildlife Refuge. And Richard and I got together and wrote a press release saying, you know what? We agree their cause is just, but their tactics aren't appropriate. So we stood against that second event that same day. First, the peaceful event at the Hammonds' home, singing Amazing Grace. The second event, they took over the refuge and we wrote a press release against it. However, here's the reason I'm telling you this. Here's what the mainstream press did. Richard and a couple of other people that were leading that rally had their faces covered because it was almost 0 degrees. Okay, so they had like beanies on and stuff like that. I had my face completely uncovered. I'm just stupid, you know? But anyway, so they take my picture of me leading this peaceful rally. And while I'm writing a press release against the takeover of the Malheur Wildlife Refuge, they release articles of the takeover with my photo on it. They didn't say that I took over the refuge. They didn't say that I was there. They know not to commit libel. But they literally lied and put my picture on something that I was issuing a press release against, and they did it full well with full knowledge. That's the dishonesty that they go to. So I challenge the Washington Post or the New York Post or any of the posts, right? Are they all really one or are they different, you know? Just wondering. One big happy family? Kind of like the Gambit. Anyway. All right, so, but I challenge them to correct the record on that, though. To write an article and just say, you know what? Sam Bushman was not at the Malheur Wildlife Refuge. That was a mainstream press lie. Was it fake news? Or was it just a journalistic oversight there? I don't even see how they got the picture to go with the event. The two weren't even the same at all, and they knew it. So that's the dishonesty that they go to. All right, but what I want to tell you is that we have been preaching peace and prosperity and stability and please don't hurt me and don't take my stuff and the oath of office for a long time at the CSPOA, ever since Richard Mack beat Bill Clinton to the Supreme Court. Bill said he would arrest Richard if he didn't comply, and Richard said, oh no, and they went to court, and Richard won, and I'm not sure why Bill's still out of jail. I mean, if they can arrest him for noncompliance, what about when the sheriff's right and the president's wrong? Does he go to jail? Just wondering. It's kind of strange about that. But I bring that up because we've been really teaching these principles of the Constitution and please don't hurt me, don't take my stuff, and these peaceful things for quite some time. And I've been around interviewing Richard Mack since, after it all happened, 96, 97, 8 range kind of thing. All right. Well, I want to play a little video. I got the chance in Las Vegas to speak to a bunch of sheriffs. And it kind of illustrates who we are and what we're doing and this kind of stuff. But we're in Las Vegas. They always say what, happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Not with the CSPOA, baby. It goes across the nation. It continues for decades to tell the tale of liberty. So here's this little blip of a video to give you guys kind of a flavor of what we were doing a decade ago.
I just have a question for all of you. Speaking of the Southern Poverty Law Center, and I just want to give you sheriffs a little bit of the accuracy of their information, okay? They don't do their research, and I'm here to prove it. Do all of you feel threatened by me? All right, now just so you know, the Southern Poverty Law Center has in their documentation on their website, if you go to the state of Utah and you look up Liberty News Radio, it's a little company that I own. It's a company called Sam Bushman Incorporated. It's just me. And it's called Liberty News Radio. It's a DBA. They say we're one of the biggest hate groups in the state of Utah. So as you hear me speak today, you'll just hear the hate seethe from who I am. No, you'll get to know who we really are and make a judgment for yourselves of what we really stand for. And I'm honored for the opportunity to stand before you and share my love of liberty with you and to thank you for your service. Thank you for your diligence. Thank you for your willingness to learn, to understand who you are and what role you play in history. Isn't it about time?
And there starts my speech tonight. I'll make it super short because I know you're all tired and we want Palomino Moon to play, right? I want you to understand that we don't hate. What we do is out of a sense of duty and love for God, family, and country. Okay, and anybody who tells you differently, anyone who tells you differently is not honest. Because you can disagree with me if you choose, but what you can't do is dictate the intentions of my heart. And I submit to you that we are peaceful people. I'm 53 years old. I'll be 54 on the 4th of July. And when I turn 54, I will have 54 years of peaceful living. I don't even have a speeding ticket, people. And they lie to you and suggest by hint, by reference, by mere that I took over the wildlife refuge, right? The Maher refuge. It isn't true. And neither are the things that they say about us true. The fact is we are a constitutional training organization to train sheriffs, to train police officers, to train public officials. And the talk that I gave that you saw 10 years ago in Vegas was called Sheriffs Will Be Backed by Americans. Does that sound like rioting? Does that sound like overturning cop cars? Does that sound like destroying public and private property? Answer, I think not. So let's be very clear who's who. We want to keep this oath. Don't hurt anybody. Don't take their stuff. Just be gentle. So Richard Mack and I are putting together a new website. We don't have it done yet, but it's started. It's called A Call for Civility. So you know what? Joe wants unity. He's never going to get unity as long as he breaks the law, okay? He's never going to get it. Why? Because we want to obey the law. Capiche? Get it? All right, so we're never going to be united, but we can be civil. I can just think he's a nutcase if I want to. And I can disagree with his opinions and beliefs, and I should be free to do so, even though he doesn't think so. So while he wants to shut down my freedom of speech, I don't want to shut down his. If he wants to make a fool out of himself daily, let him. I mean, he does it, right? I don't even need to help him. All right, so let's just be very clear what we're trying to do here. We're trying to make a difference in this world. Why? Because I have 8 children and 5 grandchildren to date. And I want to leave them a better country than I got. Okay? It's that simple for me. I want to promote God, family, and country, and I want to protect life, liberty, and property because that's what my founding fathers taught me to do, and I believe in my godly American heritage. Now, they say the devil went down to Georgia. He was looking for a soul to steal, and I'll take your bet you're going to regret, right? So we win in the end, ladies and gentlemen. Then Blake Shelton followed up and he said the devil went down to Georgia, but he didn't stick around because this is God's country. And I submit to you, this is God's country. And no matter what they try to do to create a tyranny out of it, they shall lose. Write it down, quote it right. God save the republic.